呈现，拥抱着冬眼泪，年年日光在呈现。
Hello, welcome to another Wargaming review, and today it's Miniature Wargames February 2018 edition, which is number 418. There's been a bit of gap in videos. Those who know me know there's been a problem with my mother and stuff, but hopefully coming home from hospital soon, and I'm catching up. And with the weather like this, what can you do? It's a good time to stay inside, catch up with some of the painting and do some videos. So I thought I'd share with you some of the snowy weather here from snowy South Wales in March. So I'm a little bit behind. My issue took a while to get to me. And anyway, so here we go. It's called Hell by Daylight. It's the main feature, which is skirmish rules for any period in the 20th century and beyond. So, you know, I've been saying we're a bit flooded with skirmish lately. That wasn't a good thing to see on the front cover, to be honest. But anyway, here we go. A welcome from Mr. Treadaway, saying a lot about how games tend to go in trends and things follow like that. So always interesting to hear from him. And we start off Forward Observer, some reviews. And we got some tanks. Alpenschlepper. Not very good on tanks, I'm afraid. But it's a Alpenschlepper Ost. And this is Warlord. They are from Warlord, so there we go. Yeah, I'm sorry this white background is going to make things a bit dark, but it's so spectacular I thought we'd share it. And then we've got some more World War II armoured fighting vehicles. And this is from Rubicon. This looks an interesting read. Wargames Annual, Charles S. Grant. God, I'm rubbish today. Okay, skipping through. Right, we've actually got some slightly random stuff here. Some Ninja. And this is an interesting one. This is a mat. With a concrete effect. There's all sorts of things for a concrete effect. It's surprisingly difficult to do, and this I think is a great idea. And then we got another Refighting History volume for 7 Years War. And again, it's Charles S. Grant, so he's obviously been busy, and it do seem quite similar. Anyway, I love books like that. If anyone wants to surprise me with a gift, I will happily take that, read it, and review it, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Advert from Deep Cut Studios. I imagine they're the ones who did the map featured on the previous page. Yes, it is Deep Cut, I should have said that. Well, if you want to get some good editorial coverage, send in some adverts he paid for. Right, over to Conrad. Mr. Kinch, always entertaining writer. He could write about me sitting on his chair and it would be amusing. He's just a great writer, and this is no exception. It's actually skirmish, of course, skirmish scenario. But don't worry, the magazine's not all skirmish. It does get better. Very good issue, actually. This is Black Ops 1979. I think it's part 2, or the final part. I can't remember how many parts. It's quite amusing for those of us who can remember or have been told about the 70s. And he's done maps. This is how the scenario works. Always very thorough. And you feel when you read his stuff that he has actually played this scenario. You know, he's not just written it for the magazine. He's played it, and it's got funny chats and things that happened, and also how you could adapt this scenario for other things. I mean, it basically says on World War II French resistance, so obviously you can transport it to that. It's about finding objectives and ambushing each other. Very good. Anyway, okay, so this is the big feature, Hell by Daylight, which is 20th century skirmish rules. Hooray, it's more skirmish. And this is very thorough, and this says the first of 4 parts. Wow, because even the first part is, I think it's 8 pages, and there's loads of kind of tables, you know. It's like a rules manual, so I don't know if you're going to tie all this together somewhere. It's like, well, if you want to jump, or if you want to do this, you want to do that. There's tables for everything, mostly done on sort of percentage basis, so you can get the D10s out. This is mostly World War II, but you'll see, was on the last page, there's some cavalry galloping around. It covers just about anything 20th century. Oh, there we are, there's the horsey guys. Oh, I think I can see my children throwing snowballs at each other, so they might be coming in and invading in a second. Boats, pistols, shotguns, it's very thorough. There's going to be 3 more parts. You're covered. Right, away from weird stuff and away from skirmish. Mr. Martin Gain, or I don't know how he put together a 28mm show army and game. It's very good. It's very interesting. how to choose rules, all that kind of stuff. And this is where the article is hidden. I think the headlines on these articles are missing a trick. I think the sub-editors, whoever do the headlines, okay, put on a show game. But what was interesting, because I faithfully read every article, every word, so I can do these reviews, and I'm glad I did, because towards the end there is all stuff about the old Peter Gilder rules. If one of the first holiday I had without my parents was the Wargames Centre up in near Scarborough, Filey, I think it was. I was quite young, and this talks a lot about that and where you can go for an update of the rules and how it works. So I think just check out the right article. I'm pretty sure that's the right article. I do apologise, I've read a couple of magazines in one go, got it mixed up. I think that's the one. And then we got a command decision, which I like this idea. It takes you back to the old days where you have like Charles Grant's Blue v Red and those kind of abstract scenarios which you could play with any figures, any kind of time period. And this is a similar idea, but it starts from a particular historical situation, and it's an outpost, and then you've got decisions to make. Do you go out and meet with them? Do you negotiate, or just go and attack, or do you try and evacuate? So it's a nice idea. You'd have to play it, see how well it works. It seems... oh, excuse me, something on my eye a second. Oh, there we shall push on bravely. Got more adverts. West Midlands Military Show, 18th of March. There we are, got time to go to that. Another Heinz advert. My old mate Roger Dixon, yes, I've got to be careful what I say. He's done a review of going to the Hammersmith show, Dragon Meat, that's it. Mostly role-playing and board gaming and that kind of thing. Does it work for role players, for wargamers? His interesting article, he's making an argument about the big crossover, where do you draw the lines anyway these days. So there we are, take your own view on that. And then we got Slammer Facts, Fantasy Facts, and the first article, 6mm sci-fi hammer slammers, if you're into that. They look really good. Sort of, I don't know how future it is these days. How far ahead is that kind of stuff? To be honest, it's almost looking old-fashioned before we get there. I'd imagine more drones and things like that doing the fighting. But anyway, we've actually got some fantasy this month. Woo-hoo! So there you go. It's Beelzebub. This is from Antipodeans, I think they're called. Oh, sorry, Antediluvian Miniatures. I do apologise. Well, this does look remarkably similar to another world figure I painted for someone a little while ago. So, anyway, look cracking. Nice to see some fantasy, some fire demons. And then we've got Kaiser Rushfoot, which is Aeon 1 board game. Has some good figures. And we also have... This is a big thing in some of the other magazines. Dracula's America, Shadows in the West. This weird Wild West stuff is really catching on. This is why I got confused, because now we've got Australian company and he's put Antipodean in the heading. I'm trying to remember what antediluvian means. I should know, but I can't think. Anyway, so some skeleton range from them. So it's good. We're getting some, and then a review, of course, about Hunting Grounds. And then we've got more Weird West stuff, guys on bikes and cool things. There you go, advertising. I've got to hurry up, I'm running on too long. This article, I mean, I'm sorry Mr. Green, there must be a lot of work into this. It does seem a bit indulgent, because we had an article not that long ago with converting some elves, or using historical figures to play fantasy gaming. I don't know, I mean, if just painting them a bit different and calling them elves counts as converting, I'm not really sure about that. There's no real point to ears or anything. What this article's really about is how you can use plastic kits and mix and match them and use bits from one kit with another kit and swap the heads around, the arms around, which is interesting and it's worth it, you know, and it's a good read. But page after page after page about the difference between the gate of wood and the gate of stone. And then the work's okay, you know, but it's not like industry standard. I mean, blob some green stuff on. This article, I think, is about 10 pages, and I just don't think it needs to be. It's the same thing repeated, really. And I think it's going to be more. There's more to follow. Anyway, I did read through it all. He's a nice writer. I mean, it's not a case of that. It's interesting. I mean, if you really are into the Tolkien niche, and then a niche within that, then a niche within that of the old historical Lord of the Rings, and, you know, anyway. It's very detailed. This was interesting. Catalonian campaign. Again, an article hiding behind an article. The last one should have been about generally the advantage of plastic kits converting. And this one, you think, oh, I'm not particularly interested in the Catalonian campaign. It's a well-written article. Good thing by Michael Hannon. All about the campaign and all this kind of stuff. But where this article takes off is at the end. There's an attempt, anyway, to bring a strategic element into your war games, like how to out-scout and choosing the battlefield and things like that, which are far more interesting, I think, than just a random article about some campaign I kind of know about. But if you do want to fight the battles, here's your armies, and then there's some campaign, lovely pictures, obviously a very distinctive style of Mr. Dalrymple there. I think some old pics being sneaked in here. I recognise some of these. Anyway, it's a good article, not because you might be interested in Napoleonics or that campaign, but because you might be interested in the mechanics for generating a campaign, where you don't just turn up and place the scenery, you actually have a chance to influence that. Anyway, Recce, this is interesting. Look at this. This looks like direct competition for Osprey. Very similar formats. You've got Greek warriors, gladiators, Vikings, knights, so they're hitting their popular easy ones first. And then we've got Vitebsk, which is a history book to me. And nice article. I don't know if you've seen my hints. This is actually a war game book. And I love his artwork anyway. There's Peter Dennis, just make sure I don't get his name wrong. Peter Dennis. And it's a big article, a lot of words. You don't see that in magazines these days very often, but it's good. I feel like I almost played the game. I haven't read this article. So it doesn't stop people buying their rules because it looks good. And here we go. More historical books. Baltic. Grouchy's Waterloo sounds interesting. The boat that won the war. That is actually interesting. The articles are well written. They're interesting. They're good reviews. So I'm not knocking that. I'm not sure if they're directly wargaming though. I know one of my mates fought in South Africa, Angola and all that. He might be very interested in this book. I don't know how many wargamers would be. And then we've got Japanese Navy, and this gets a medal. The Peter Dennis thing should get a medal. That's a wargaming book. This is a history book. Might be useful if you're particularly into Japanese ships. Hey, that's my hobby horse. I should get off it. Funny enough, my little boy's birthday just happened. They're my twins, and I got hobby horses. Not the only thing, but it can't beat a hobby horse. There's some of the adverts. Give them some coverage. Crusade. Advertised January 27th. Soon I got my copy about February the 20th. Not a lot of help. Right, the wonderful Diane Sutherland is doing work on using rugs, actually. When she says a rug, it's outdoor astroturf type things and what you can do with that. And funny enough, as you'll see in the next article, in Wargames Illustrated, there's a very similar article about using rugs and cloths, something I've done. Oh, you can't really see behind me. There's some good tips in here, as always. How she gets the finish she's looking for. Tie it all together. And one thing I have to say, these patchy areas are always difficult to do. If you're not careful, it looks a bit like I don't know, leopard spots rather than terrain. And she's got some little tricks how to get that. So thank you again, Diane. I always love your articles. You are a good writer. And we've got some small ads. Here we are. Have a quick look at those. What's this about? Tired of searching for casting alloys. Global manufacturers of lead-free pewter, tin lead and low melt alloys since 1869. GWN or AIM. AIM. Got the Free Model Centre. Another one that's gone. Cavalier, sorry, was in February. This weird advert. Interesting subject. I know Andy Copstake's doing a few interesting articles. Get you thinking. This is about the use of dice and how we use dice and different dice for different things. And maybe like D10s, D100s, and whether things become more random or less random, and over time, where everything went from a stage of being prescriptive to even accepting an order roll of dice, you know, and where do you fall on that kind of path? I'd like a bit more stats in here as well, but there you go. At least how dice can look a bit strange on the battlefield. It's a good article. I think more of that kind of thing is useful in a magazine, something to talk about. And this thing has been really pushed big, isn't it? This tabletop gaming. In my previous life, I was an exhibition guy, impresario, whatever. And I often thought about doing this, and fair play to them, they look like they're giving it a really good go. So, the Ali Pally. got some personal history, or memories I should say. That sounds like a bad thing, doesn't it? No, good memories from there. Okay, and there's, oh, it's my advert, hooray! Although I am pretty full at the moment. And here are small ads, which I'll go through all of them. To advertise here, please call Ben Jackson. Hey, that helps. Ben's very good, very nice guy. Although their rates are getting more expensive, and I wonder about circulation. But there you go. That's for another video. And there's the back page. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'd say with the weather, the snow coming down, doesn't look like I'm going anywhere much soon, apart from outside to play a bit, perhaps. And it'll give me a chance to catch up with some videos. So I've got a whole series of To the Strongest, culminating with the World Championships. I've also got the last couple of Basic Impetus battles going on. The new rules are coming out from Simon Miller for the To the Strongest English Civil War, FKP. I want to be careful how you say that acronym. And a couple of other things. Oh yeah, Saga 2 came out. I've got a couple of books I've read. Paul Saban and a couple of others. Peter Perler's Art of Wargaming. So a lot of stuff to put out. So I got the camera working and me not working, so let's crack on. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Till the next time, keep rolling and enjoy watching this cold weather if you are somewhere hot. Bye.
是否还能红着脸？就像那年匆促刻下永远一起那样美丽的谣言。如果过去还值得眷恋，别太快冰释前嫌。谁的心就这样彼此无挂也无牵？我们要互相亏欠。